Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. So today I want to talk about a topic that is relevant to the other topics I already spoke on, which is basically on vegetables and plants. Uh, are plants really natural? Uh, are the plants that we find in the supermarket nowadays natural? Is it something that you would find in nature? And the answer is quite simply no. So we have here a watermelon, and watermelons as they are today are very sugary and sweet, and there's a lot of flesh inside. But you need to be aware that in nature, the origin of the watermelon, the wild watermelon, didn't have that type of texture. They had very little flesh, and it was mostly bitter with lots of seeds inside, so it's mostly inedible. So this is actually just to clarify that plant products are not available in nature, simply put. Most of the plant products you find in the supermarket today are not available in nature in any way, shape, or form, which begs the question, if you wish to follow a diet that is natural, how would you, as a hunter-gatherer or someone living in the wilderness, would you be able to have access to these types of vegetables and fruits that we have nowadays? The simple answer would be no, you wouldn't have access to them because they're simply not available. These were selectively bred, selectively manufactured by humans over centuries and centuries and centuries of agriculture. Um, it's the same thing with peppers. It's the same thing with broccoli, with cauliflower. It's the same thing with kale. It's the same thing with tomatoes. It's the same thing with bananas, papayas. It's the same thing with all of these. They have all the same thing in common, that they are not naturally available in nature, and uh, the wild counterparts, which are available in nature, are inedible. You cannot consume them. There's no sugar. There's no carbs. There is nothing there to be consumed to begin with. They're either too toxic or too bitter. Uh, there's just something about them that you can't consume, which is the reason why they had to be modified in the first place for us to be able to consume them. So it's just to wrap it up that basically when you see these things and you say, well, we have vegetables and fruits and they're healthy and they're good for you, just bear in mind that in nature you wouldn't have access to these anyway. Uh, you just wouldn't have access to them. So you would consider that what is the ideal diet for a human being? Shouldn't that be something which is available to the human being in nature, in its natural habitat? And we know that the natural habitat of the human beings is in the wilderness. That's prior to civilization, prior to when people settled down into cities and started agriculture and growing grains and things of that nature. That's something that happened around the Neolithic age. We know that as the agricultural revolution. Sorry, not agricultural revolution, the Neolithic age, exactly. So all these fruits and vegetables were not available in nature, so it's a moot point to say that we should be consuming them at any level, really. Again, I reiterate my point, my stance, sorry, that I am not against vegetables and fruits. I do believe that they can hold some form of nutrition. They can be useful for human beings, but uh, nobody can argue that they're absolutely essential for the human diet. They are not. Simple as that.